Unit 15. John Steinbeck, The Pearl. Listening. Between presenter and Dr. Carter. PR. Do you love reading but wish you knew more about the authors? In this program we look at the lives of our greatest writers. The subject of today's program is the American writer John Steinbeck, whose book The Grapes of Wrath was one of the most famous novels of the 20th century. To tell us more about John Steinbeck, we have in the studio an expert on literature, Dr. Helen Carter. Dr. Carter, welcome. Dr. Hello. PR. I wonder if you could start by telling us something about John Steinbeck's early life. Dr. Certainly. John was born in California in 1902. His ancestors were from Europe, from Germany on his father's side and Ireland on his mother's. The name Steinbeck is German. PR. What did his parents do? Were they a poor family? Dr. No, they weren't. His father worked for the government and his mother was a teacher. It was his mother who taught John to read and encouraged him to become a writer. PR. What about his education? Did he go to university? Dr. Yes, he did. After high school, he went to Stanford University to study English. His parents wished he had done better there, but he left in 1925 without a degree and went to live in New York to try to become a writer. PR. Did he succeed? Dr. Unfortunately, not. His first 3 novels were not a success. He had to continue working in badly paid jobs. It was not until 1939 that he became famous, when The Grapes of Wrath won an influential prize. PR. Can you explain why this novel was so successful? Dr. Well, it's a great story. But it was also a novel in which Steinbeck wrote about the lives of poor working Americans during the Great Depression of the 1930s. I think Steinbeck was respected for telling the truth about his country and for forcing people to think about the problems of the country's poor. PR. So, did Steinbeck then become a celebrity? Dr. No, not at all. He wished people had left him alone and hated publicity. PR. Did he write any other important novels? Dr. Well, during the Second World War, he worked as a war correspondent for a New York newspaper, but he continued to write stories. In 1942, he wrote The Moon is Down, about the war in Europe, and in 1947, he wrote The Pearl, a short novel about a diver from Mexico. Then in 1952, he wrote East of Eden, which Steinbeck himself thought was his best novel. PR. And did he continue to write? Dr. Yes, he did, and then in 1962 he won the Nobel Prize for Literature. I wish he had written more books, but he died in 1968. PR. Yes, I wish more authors would write as well as Steinbeck. And I wish that we could speak for longer, but that's all we have time for today. Dr. Thank you.
Reading. The Pearl, A Story of Greed. Kino, a Mexican pearl diver, and his wife Juana live a happy life until, one morning, their son Coyotito is stung by a scorpion. They take him to the local doctor, but he will not treat the boy because the family is too poor to pay. Juana treats the boy herself. That same day, Kino goes diving and finds an enormous pearl, which means he is now a wealthy man. However, when other people hear about the pearl, they plan to steal it. When the doctor hears about Kino's pearl, he offers to treat Kyotito, even though Wana's treatment has already cured him. That night, someone tries to steal the pearl, so the next day Kino goes into town to sell it. The merchants say the pearl is not very valuable because it is too big. Kino knows this is a trick, and so he decides to go to another town to sell the pearl. Wana wishes Kino would throw it away because she believes it is evil and fears that it will destroy the family, but Kino refuses. He wants it to pay for his son's education. On their way to the other town, the family are followed by thieves who want the pearl. Wana and Kyotito hide in a mountain cave, but Kyotito cries out. When the thieves hear this noise, they fire their guns at what they think is a wild animal. Kino attacks the thieves, but by now it is too late. Kyotito is dead. Kino and Wana wish they had never found the pearl. Deciding it is evil, they return to their hometown and throw it into the sea. Wana told Kino that she thought the pearl was dangerous and asked him to throw it away. Kino disagreed. He told his wife that he wanted to send their son to school and to give him a better life. This was their only chance to escape from their situation.
Definitions. Ancestor, ancestral. A member of your family who lived a long time ago. Celebrity, celebrated, and noun. Celebrate, celebration. A famous person, especially an actor or entertainer. Correspondent, correspondence, correspond. Someone whose job is to report news from a distant place or write about a particular subject. Depression, depressed, depressed, depressing. A long period when there is not a lot of business activity. Force, force, forced. Forceful, forcefully. Make someone do something they don't want to. Mexico, Mexican. A large country in North America. Pearl, a valuable small white round object, that forms inside an oyster and is used in jewelry. Publicity, publicize publicly. Attention that someone gets from newspapers, television, etc. Success, succeed. Successful, successfully. When you achieve what you have been trying to do. Evil / evilly, very cruel or harmful. Greed, greedy. Greedily, greediness. When you want to have more money, food, power, etc. than you need. Scorpion. A creature like a large insect with a curved tail that has a poisonous sting. Throw away. Get rid of something that you do not want or need. Trick, play tricks on trickery. Deceive someone to get something from them, or to make them do something. Fire, make bullets come from a gun. Merchant, merchandise. Someone who buys and sells large quantities of goods. Sting, stinging. Stingy, stinginess. If an animal, plant or insect stings you, it hurts you by putting poison into your skin. Treat, give someone medical treatment for an illness or injury. Steinbeck was a very private person. He didn't like publicity. Anthony Hope paid for the publication of his first novel. A celebrity in our town was kidnapped yesterday. Mr. Mayor is a celebrated teacher. A wasp, scorpion, bee stung my sister last week. A snake, dog bit me yesterday. Try to persuade him to come. You'll need to convince them of your plan. Will you be able to cure him, doctor? There are various treatments for this disease. This ointment will heal your cuts, wounds, bruises. Persuading. Are you sure you can't? Can't I persuade you to? I really think you should. Why don't you? Please. Surely the best thing to do is to.
Actor. Ancestor. Ancestral. Attention. Author. Cave. Celebrated. Celebrity. Correspond. Correspondence. Correspondent. Corresponding. Creature. Cruel. Grapes. Greed. Greedily. Greedy. Hide, hidden. Improve. Incurable. Influence. Influential. Literature. Merchandise. Merchant. Mexican. Mexico. Curable. Cure. Dead. Death. Decorate. Decoration. Degree. Depressed. Depressing. Depression. Dive. Diver. Economy. Education. Encourage. Neighborhood. Nobel Prize. Novel. Oyster. Parents. Pay. Pearl. Playground. Publication. Publicity. Repairs. Scorpion. Sting, stung, stung. Succeed. Success. Encouragement. Encouraging. Enormous. Entertainer. Evil. Evilly. Fear. Fire. Force. Forced. Fortunately. German. Germany. Get rid of. Government. Successful. Successfully. Support. Tell lies. Tell the truth. Throw. Treat. Treatment. Trick. Trickery. Unfortunately. Valuable. Valueless. Wealthy. Wrath. Prepositions and expressions. Cry out. Expert on. Get rid of. Give up. Hear about. Know about. On their way to. On side. Badly paid jobs. Business activity. Cause problems. Distant place. Influential prize. Pay for. Put poison into. Respected for. Return to. Throw away. Throw into. Win a prize for. Work for. Private life. Public playground. Solve problems. The grapes of wrath. Make you blind. Medical treatment. Poisonous sting. With a curved tail. The Nobel Prize for Literature. The Great Depression. The Second World War. Sentences with wish, if only. Wish, if only and past simple. To talk about wishes or regrets about the present. I wish I knew where my keys were. I do not know where my keys are. I wish I were a minister. I'm not a minister. I wish you had time. You don't have time. If only I lived in a quiet place. I live in a noisy place. I wish I knew Paul's phone number. I don't know it. I wish I didn't have to work hard. I have to work hard. I wish the teacher did something to solve the problem. The teacher doesn't do anything to solve the problem. If only there weren't many people in this place. There are a lot of people in this place. I wish I knew what I was doing at the weekend. Wish, if only and past perfect. To talk about wishes or regrets about the past. I wish I had read the question more carefully in yesterday's exam. I did not read the question carefully. I wish I had studied hard. I didn't study hard. If only I had met her. I didn't meet her. I quarreled with my brother yesterday. If only I hadn't quarreled with him. If only I hadn't failed the chemistry test. I failed the chemistry test. I wish I had known that Gary was ill. I didn't know that Gary was ill. I wish I had applied for that job. I didn't apply for that job. I wish it had been warmer. The weather was cold. Wish, if only and would, could and infinitive. To talk about future wishes, usually when you are sad or angry. I wish my brothers would stop arguing. I wish I could speak Spanish. I can't speak Spanish. I wish I could be an engineer when I grow up. I wish I could ride a horse. I hope I will ride a horse. I wish he would visit me next week. I hope he will visit me. If only I could visit Honolulu next year. If only she hadn't told the police, everything would have been all right. I wish he hadn't wasted all his money. He would have bought a new house. I regret not studying hard. I wish I had studied hard. Wish to and inf. Want to. I wish to see the manager, please. I wish to know where she lives. If you wish to reserve a table, please telephone after 5 o'clock. Hope and subject and present simple, future simple. I hope she comes tomorrow. I hope she will come tomorrow. Wish and subject and n, wish someone something. I wish you a speedy recovery. I wish you good luck. I wish you a happy life.